Good morning everyone, welcome to my channel. Okay, today is the 5th of July in our Junk Journal July challenge. So today's prompt is fold out. So I am going to use an envelope to create a folding out pocket that can have a tag or some fabric samples or something go into it. That's the theory. And what I'm thinking of doing, which I've never tried before and I hope it works, is I'm going to collage the envelope with fabric. So, yeah. So what I need to do, I'm sort of thinking this through a little bit, is I need to pick a page for this to go into. So many. Oh, I love that. I'm going to use that. I've found an envelope that is neutral. And I've got a pocket, which is pretty cool. And I don't need to line the inside of it because it's already got a neutral, inside. So thanks, Origin. Not for the bill that was in it, but thanks for the envelope. Now, I did open it there, but then stopped and cut it up here. Look, that's a bit of forethought. I'm a shocker. I'll go get the mail out of the letterbox and then I'll go to the wheelie bin and stand there and open it all. And anything that I don't want in the house in the way of junk mail, predominantly, straight in the wheelie bin. Otherwise, it just sits around and it just drives me nuts. So I vet the mail at the wheelie bin. And envelopes, I would have opened this and gone, ooh, stop, nice envelope, and then brought it into my craft table and I've actually cut it off nicely. So that's, pretty funny. So I digress. Now I need to cut this down to size because we don't want it as big and it would make a good pocket as well. So I'm going to cut it there, trimming it down. Just grab my cutting board and trim my envelope. So now I've got a potential flip and I've got a potential pocket that I can decorate as well. So I will keep, or even a belly band, who knows. But it's nice strong card paper. So I'm going to put that to one side because that might reappear later in the project. So I don't know if I want to put it on the outside. See, these have got a plain side to them. There's my hole from when I had it stitched into a signature as I was planning my epic journey on the big canard cruise liner to Japan, which never happened due to the you-know-what breaking out, but we won't focus on that. So that's the top, yep. So that'll work, and I'll use this plain because it could certainly do with a pop of colour. And I'm going to make, because I didn't open the envelope up to get this flap, I'm going to actually use some of this calico to hinge it. So the question is, do I want the window over there so then I've got more room for the calico? Yeah, I do. So my hole is at the top here, now at the bottom. So I'm going to just cut the envelope open again, and this will become the top. That makes sense. Got to get my plumbing right first, and I will need to make sure that that's glued down, which is not a big problem because the fabric will really hold everything together. Okay, so that's now the top, and I need to put some glue just on this bottom edge just to adhere that closed. Okay, very good. So now I can start collaging my envelope. So let's get my glue pad back and let's explore some of the snippets I have. Oh, that's a nice one. And what the plan is I'm just going to glue down all of these pieces of fabric on my envelope. Now, where is my glue stick gone? There it is. As you would have noticed from yesterday's video, the mailman did not arrive and I did not get my cover. So I couldn't finish my project the way I wanted by gluing on that rice paper. But that's okay. It doesn't matter. I'm sure it'll come when it arrives. It arrives. Okay, I'm going to get rid of that before I have a hang of a mess. I'm going to get some scrap paper down on my woolen mat so that I don't get that in a hang of a mess. Okay, I got my fabric. Just excuse me while I organise myself here. So yeah, I've got my fabric down. What else do we got here? Will that fit there? Oh yeah, that'll fit. Just need to rough that up a little bit because I want it to feel quite textured. Yep, love that. Yeah, that will work. So I'm going to apply some glue. My mailman. Let me tell you about my mailman. For many years, we've been living at this place for 8 years now in Brisbane. And my original mailman was a gentleman. He was a lovely man. He was gentle. He was respectful. If you were out there on the footpath and he came by, he'd say hello. He was just a lovely man. And it was probably the first mailman in Brisbane that I actually sort of felt like I knew, like built a relationship with. Most of them you're sort of at work and you don't see him, but I'd seemed to bump into this chap a few times. So I sort of felt like we had built a little relationship, even though it was fleeting as he whizzed past, dropping letters off. I'm going to leave all those threads because I really like the way that that's come together. So yeah, he was just lovely. And then out of the blue, he'd moved on. So I don't know what happened, whether he retired or just no longer was doing my area. I'm going to snip that little bit there. But yeah, so maybe I'll glue it on first and then trim it. Yeah, I can eyeball it, as they say. I can always trim it down a little bit. Yeah, so he disappeared. And now I have a new mailman, which I've had for a couple of years now, probably 2 years. And all I'll say is he's a crazy boy. He's only young. And there's a movie. I was going to look up the movie because I thought of this scenario to tell you about while I was sort of getting my coffee this morning. And I didn't end up looking up the movie. So you guys might know the movie I'm talking about and be able to come up with it. It's about a couple. I think the lead actor is Steve Martin. No, it's not. It's Chevy Chase. And he's purchased a property. I think the house needs renovating, I think is how the story goes. So he's there on this random property to renovate it with his wife. I recall it being a long driveway down to the post box and then this dirt road in front of the post box. It may not be dirt, but anyway, that's my memory of it. I like that selvage piece. I might just add it there for the sake of it. Seems too good to put in the bin, and you can see where the big loom has pinched into the selvage there, so that's on. So yeah, you'd have to go all the way down to the post box and he'd be waiting for this letter or whatever it was. And this mailman, he was crazy. You never saw his face in the movie. I think he was in a truck or a car. I can't remember. I have to watch it again. It's been years. And he would fly through down the road and just about destroy the place as he would throw mail and whatever at Chevy Chase. I'm sure that's the main actor. Can't remember the lady. Can't remember the name of the film. And it was just hilarious. This mailman was just a lunatic. So anyway, my mailman is the same as that mailman. So when we hear him coming, we half expect, you know, him to whiz around the corner like that mailman, and oh, he's just crazy. So it always makes me giggle. I think of that movie. I have to watch it again. I think of that movie and the characters as this crazy mailman was coming down the road. I'm going to put this piece of jean fabric there, and I'm going to stitch it, I think, because I really like how the white pops on the fabric. I hope this video doesn't go too long, because it's good when I don't have to join videos. I can just film and keep going, and then it's done. It just saves so much time. So I'm just going to add a few stitches here. I do want to put a tab on this envelope as well. So maybe I'm sort of getting ahead of myself here, and this piece needs to go somewhere else, because I've got these little tabs. I pre-make them ready for when I make some journals, and I can then just grab them and add them to pages. So whether I use this as the tab, which I probably could, probably may not be a big enough piece to have it hanging out to sort of denote that there is a tag there. I guess too, I need to check that it's not the wrong size for the page that this envelope is going onto. There's another thing to check before I get carried away with what I'm thinking. But the little tabs, I'll show them to you, and I grabbed one out because I do want to add one to the journal at some point. But it will need to be embellished with some Japanese ephemera, just to sort of tie it all together to this project. So I've just stitched now this little piece of fabric. So it's got a little bit of borrow stitching or running stitch on it. That'll be fine. I don't really need to knot it because it'll be glued down, but I will trim that. So I've got this little element. So I could add it there, and it becomes the tag. I'll show you this tag. This is what it is. It's just a strip of calico that I've folded in half. So that calico is, or muslin, is, give or take, probably 2 inches wide. Then I sat in front of the TV one night with this lace and just did a couple little stitches so that that lace covered the fold, and then it just opens up and it can be added wherever you want to add a tab to your piece. So I had thought of using, put my needle away, close my glue. Oh gosh, getting out of control here. Let's have a little look first to see how big this envelope is. So we're not going to have a tab because it's just not going to fit. So I am going to add that piece of stitching, and it's going to go around that corner like that. So it'll become a tab, but it will just denote that there is something going on there to grab. Okay, so let's glue that down. I'll just put glue on the one side because I haven't yet collaged the other side with fabric. So I need to just steady the horses. Okay, that's it down. And then that will wrap around that edge. So yeah, I like that. Okay, So we've got some stitch fabric in place. We won't be able to use that tab because there will be an opening at the top, so that will probably go just on a page like this at some point. We'll see what prompts come up later in the challenge, so maybe there's an opportunity that these tags get added and then I add a little bit of stitching and that becomes a fabric tag. But anyway, I'm getting sidetracked, so let's stay focused. So I need some more fabric. I think I need a little bit more red up in this top corner. So let's add a piece of this floral. Once again, I can't rip it because it's, I don't know, the weave doesn't allow ripping, I don't think. Yeah, no, that ain't gonna happen. So I do need to just trim it to size. This is a fabric I've had for many, many years when I was doing a lot of red work, stitching. So I'm not sure of its name. I just picked it up thinking it matched beautifully, and it had some floral that sort of reminded me a little bit of a Japanese style of print. Yeah, that's good. So I'm just going to fray that a little bit. Run that through there. I think I want that on top of there. So being that I just used a glue stick, it's easy enough just to, yeah, that looks good. So just going to trim my fabric off. This is coming together really well. I've never collaged to this degree with fabric. You always do little highlights, but I wanted to do something a little bit more special with this journal in the way of fabric. I don't know if you've watched one of Rachael's videos where she finds a very old journal from, oh, now I'm testing my memory, whether it was the 1800s. And she couldn't decide whether it was legit or someone had actually created it more recently. But I don't know, after watching the video a few times, because it's probably one of my favourite Rachael Roxy Creations videos, is that journal. I think it is legit. I don't know. I'd have to probably see it close up, but I think it's legit. I think it's just gorgeous. So they certainly did use a lot of fabric in their journals, the ladies. Okay, so I'm really happy with that. That'll go around the corner. That's looking good. And that'll really put a pop of colour in there. So the calico will just go on there. Let me just trim that off. Yep. I might just leave it at that. I could do with some words or a label, or what have I got? What's in the Stamperia scraps here that might be able to be added? Anything jumping out at me? I like that. I don't know why. Actually, I need to tear it, because otherwise if I cut it, it'll look too perfect. So I'm just going to make a bit of space to the side of me and tear it out. I think it's because the reason I'm drawn to it is because it has the colours of the Stamperia paper in it. So it sort of is going to help tie my piece back to the paper pack. So I'm just ripping out that little element and we'll have another look at it. So that's it removed from the panels. Yeah, I like that. So I'm just going to ink the edge because I want to hide the fact that there's paper in there that is white. And it'll allow me to do a little bit of a feature. I guess the next thing to decide, do I want my hinge to be on the inside of my envelope or sitting on the outside? I think I like it on the outside, and I like that. Yeah, I'm liking that. So I'm gonna actually add my hinging fabric now, and I might even run a line of stitching down there so it looks like it's stitched onto. I'm going to use the blue cord that I have. How long's this video? 20 minutes. Okay. It shouldn't take too long to do a running stitch right down that side. Oops. No, that's right. Okay. So I'm going to actually concertina the fabric up onto my needle. Helps keep a straighter line than going up and down like you would if you were doing a running stitch. When you watch the artistic talent of Japan and them doing the boro, you'll see that they concertina up the fabric, and they'll do heaps of it, like quite a length, like I'm doing here. They'll do the whole piece. Okay, and then they'll pull the needle through and then just ease it off. Okay. I'm using a really thick needle and my thread's thick, so just got to take my time to get that off. Yep, that's good. And then gently just ease the fabric out. Not real straight there, but that doesn't matter. Just make sure that that thread is got a bit of room to move. I've pulled the knot forward out a little bit just to give the fabric a little bit of wriggle room if it does decide to move and tighten up and cinch up, because you don't want your work to look gathered. So I'm just going to catch a tiny little thread on the back. That'll be glued down, so it's not going to go anywhere. So I'm just going to do that and snip it. I just put a little bit of glitter glue on that thread just to make sure it doesn't pull out. Okay. Now where's our envelope? And we're going to make that look like it is holding itself on there, like that. Yep. And then this can go here. Maybe it goes at an angle. No. Maybe it goes under. No. I'm thinking it just, I don't know. Why don't I like it now? I think because the stitches become so predominant that I've just put in. Feels like it needs something on that. Do I stitch onto that as well? Where's the white? Do I stitch there as well? Yeah, I might. Yeah, I might. Sorry, guys. I'm just going to add some stitching around that piece of card. I just feel like it needs a bit of detail anchoring it. Just a couple little stitches. As if it's stitched down onto the envelope. And it might be a good spot that I could write the date or the contents of the envelope. So I'm thinking I just need this little detail. I'll just pull that back through. It's not going to go anywhere because it'll be glued down, but I will put a spot of art glitter glue there just to make sure it doesn't go anywhere in the meantime. Yeah, that's better. But I do think it needs to be a bit smaller. Look at me, I just can't quite. Need something else. Maybe I put a Tracey label under it. Bear with me, guys. Let's have a look at Tracey labels. I still haven't cut these out, which I should. And that way you're not watching me cut them out. Just trim that. I'm liking this one, I think. Whether the card just inking it. Okay. If you're wondering, the ink is yeah, that's better. And I think I'm going to tuck it under there like that, and have the muslin coming over the top of it, and then that. Just looking up at my camera. Yeah, I like that. That looks interesting to me. I also think it needs something up there on that top, so I'll have another look through the labels and add that as well, or I put a bit of stitching there. But let's get this into position. I'm going to use art glitter glue on this piece of card. That'll hold it nice and strong, probably more so than the glue stick. So I'm just going to put that there. It's like a sample of wallpaper. Yeah, I'm happy with that. That's better. Got some little stitches in there. Then I'm going to, oh, I've got a needle in my way. I'm then going to attach you know what? I'm not digging that blue line. Have another look. Just looking up to my TV to see what it looks like. I'm not digging the blue line. I think I just prefer the calico. Maybe if I hide that blue line out of the way. Yeah. All right. I'm going to just put that piece aside, and I'm going to grab some more calico here and rip a piece to suit. And I think the problem is that the blue thread is really thick, so it became quite a dominant element to my piece. It just didn't look right. So I'm going to actually not use it and save it, because it might end up somewhere else. Yep, that's better. Let's, oh gosh, I've got stuff everywhere. How are we going for time? 30 minutes. All right, so let's add some glue down that spine. I'm also going to add a little bit of glitter glue because I don't want it to come off. It's a hinge. And I'm just going to attach that calico there, or if you're in America, muslin. Okay, I'm liking that. Now, where did my label get to? Goodness me. No, well, there it is. Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. Yep, I like that. So I'm going to glue that label there. And before I stick it down, I'm just going to poke a little bit of cheesecloth under it because I really like how you get a bit of texture with the cheesecloth. Just a little bit. Sort of helps break up lines too. Yeah. So we've got the stitching, the cheesecloth. Yeah, I like that. Much, much better. Now I do need something up here. What can I put up there? Maybe I'll just use a plain label. I wonder if I can put my hands on them fast. Also, Tracey Fox, her site has these plain labels, which we're all very familiar with it. I don't think I can put my hands on them quickly because I've got so many ephemera folders full of bits and pieces, and I haven't picked up the correct one. I'll just have another look in one more, see if it's handy. That's a Christmas one. No. Let's have a look in this one. Yep, here they are. That's these ones here. So I'm just going to pick one that suits. I could probably go red. I could go narrow. And that way, if I ever wanted to write something on there that tells me what this is all about, I think I prefer that one. It's a little bit more bright. Just have a quick flip through and see what other ones I have. I have some brown ones here. Let's just check one of those out. Yeah, I think I like the brown one. Let's put the red one back. Put the folder back. Trim that up a little bit better than what I have. That's pretty good. Ink it. Now, I'm just going to glue it there, but I'm also going to add a little bit of muslin because you've got to have a little bit of, not muslin, cheesecloth, just to make it look interesting. I might put it upside down so that it's sort of on the window as well. Oh, come on, it's sticking to my fingers. There we go. Yeah, love that. So a bit of glue, and I'll add some art glitter glue as well, just so that sort of gloops through the cheesecloth and catches it in the process. Okay, so now I have the ability to write something there in the future that maybe talks about what's in the actual envelope itself. So now I can flip it over. And what will I do on the back here? I just picked up another piece of calico. Might make it a bit plainer. And that way, if I want to add something, You know how we make journal cards and we have the back of the journal card plain? So that we can, I need to trim that red fabric out of there, so that we can write on the back of it, you know, to dialogue what may be happening. Well, I like to do that on the back of envelopes too when I make them flip outs, because you just never know. You might want to write something or add a pocket. Pocket would be cool. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to add that calico. So I got, you know, something plain. And that way in the future I can sort of work in that space if I decide I need to. I'll still put a little bit of fabric around. But let's say I go to a textile part of Japan and purchase some fabric, and I might want to add some of those fabrics to, I'm going to put it this side, some of those fabrics to the envelope as decoration. So I'm sort of giving myself a blank space to do something with it. Now I've also, the reason I quickly changed is because I just noticed that my stitching, my little tabby thing is there. So that now can come around that corner and look really, really cool. Now I just need some fabric to go down that edge. Do I do anything in particular? Maybe I do something just simple, just a bit of the red. Yeah, I'm going to do that. Yep, I'm going to just cut a piece of that red fabric and just use that. Once again, keeping it simple, just a space for something in the future. All the decoration is at the front. I'm going to lift that calico up. That's the beauty of using glue sticks if you quickly want to change your design and allow for the fabric to come in underneath something. You can, because it doesn't glue quickly, not like art glitter glue, which is a lot less forgiving. So I'm going to put the glue directly onto the envelope now. Lovely. That will hold. I've got some floral elements here. I'm going to flip it around to that side so I can see them peeking through, and then I can bring that calico back down. Okay, so there's my pocket. I've got glue everywhere. Let's get rid of all of that. That needs to dry before it gets attached to my page, which is here. Right. Put my glue away. Alrighty, so that is my flip out. So I've got a couple options. I can bring the calico around this side, which I'm sort of like the idea of doing, because it now brings some fabric to this side of the page. That will then flip out and allow me to do something here in the future. So yeah, I think I will do that. I've got plenty of room here, plenty of room for something to go into the pocket. I'm going to move the envelope down a little bit. I'm going to now put some glue on that edge of the calico, keeping it away a little bit from the hinging space that you need. Blue thread that I did put in originally might have looked good on this opposite side, but anyway, doesn't matter. So just checking that that's the top of the envelope. Yep, it's going to sit like that. Yep. So now I just need to attach this to it. I'm just going to slide that down a little bit. Yeah, love it. Love it. See, that would have looked really cool there. But anyway, doesn't matter. What I might do now, just to make sure that this stays in position, I might just add a couple little snippets of fabric to this side. Oh, I like this stripe. Just to help that, you know, stay there. It will, but I'm just going to add this scrap because I can. How are we going for time? 40 minutes. Okay. Last little bit. Could even add a Tracey label. No, just stay focused. I'm just going to add that there, just as a little detail, because I like it. Okay, so that's our prompt fold out, or what was it? Flip out? Fold out. And it is the 5th of July. So there we go. My little envelope ready to have some treasures put in, covered in fabric so it feels beautiful. I've got space on the back of it to add more fabric as I go on my travels, my one-day travels. I can add labels, I can sort of do all sorts there, but that's a really good use of that envelope, and it matches in beautifully without having to open it up and, you know, muck around inside. So if I do a tag, where's our tag we made? Gosh, my desk is out of control. I'm sort of leaving everything, walking away and then coming back the next. Oh, look at that. Look at that. My little tag inside. Love it. Okay, everyone, I'll see you tomorrow. Enjoy your day. Bye.